Self-defense is serious business. In fact, it is as serious as it gets. When you've got to draw your gun and fire, your life is going to change, and it won't be for the better. But if you want to make it through the aftermath, including the legal fracas that will invariably follow in its wake, you've got to be alive. And if you want to live, both you and your chosen handgun must be up to the task. Your ammunition also must be up to the task. You need every advantage you can get, and that means you need the most effective, deadliest ammo available. Sadly, there is a ton of snake oil out there when it comes to handgun ammunition, but happily, I'm here to keep you from getting taken, with everything you need to know and aren't being told about concealed carry ammo. Let's get right into it. Only one factor truly matters for handgun wounding: penetration. Let's cut to the chase. There is only one performance metric that truly matters when it comes to handgun wounding performance, and that metric is penetration. Don't get taken by old and outmoded bunk science about stopping power, knockdown power, energy transfer, and all that hoopla. It simply does not matter, or perhaps more charitably, it does not matter at all with handgun cartridges. Handgun rounds poke holes, that's all they do. They punch a hole through the human body and through the tissues that comprise it. Tissue that is directly in the path of the bullet is crushed and destroyed, and if that tissue belongs to a vital organ, so much the better for our purposes. But vital organs, every one of them, are located deep inside the body comparatively, and often protected by thick layers of bone and muscle. Accordingly, any handgun we depend on for self-defense must be capable of penetrating deeply enough to reliably damage those vital structures, including the heart, lungs, spine, and brain. A good handgun round for self-defense will penetrate 12 to 18 inches in ballistic gelatin. So how much penetration do we need? We don't have to guess at this, not anymore. Our chosen handgun ammunition should be capable of penetrating at least 12 inches in calibrated ballistics gelatin, and ideally no deeper than 18 inches. This substance, developed and used by the FBI in accordance with their protocol, is not a perfect simulant for skin, muscle, and fat, and it does not have the varying composition of an actual human body. But a tremendous amount of research, testing, and real-life experience has shown an undeniable correlation between the test medium and the gory results of real-life shootings. This is the benchmark for handgun wounding performance, and it is important for both armed professionals and armed citizens to just want to make it home safe in an increasingly dangerous world. So why does the FBI recommend the 12 to 18 inch standard? Let's tap the brakes for a second. Why does the FBI recommend a penetration depth of between 12 and 18 inches for handguns? How did they come to such a metric? It seems a little arbitrary when you think about it. The detailed, in-depth answer to that question is a whole video. Maybe even a couple of videos. Maybe I'll get around to making them in the near future. But the short version you need to know is that the FBI arrived at that range based on grim experience and real-world data in the aftermath of the infamous 1988 Miami shootout. That one incident exposed grave deficiencies in the performance of their then-used handguns, and they were determined to keep such an incident from ever happening again. Skipping to the end, the FBI determined that the minimum 12 inches of penetration would, across all conceivable real-world variables, ensure that a bullet could reach the vital structures inside the human body after passing through clothing and regardless of the angle of attack. Similarly, the 18-inch recommended maximum depth of penetration was set to reduce the risk of over-penetration, which could present a hazard to bystanders and property beyond the intended target. Initially met with lots of skepticism and a battery of naysayers, critics, and self-proclaimed experts with a bone to pick, this standard has proven itself a reliable measuring stick for handgun performance in real-world combat, and done so over and over again. Believe me, there's a whole lot more you need to know concerning concealed carry ammunition effectiveness. But really quick, before we move on, do me a big favor and smash that like and subscribe button if this is interesting so far. Those 2 clicks really help the channel, and by doing so, you'll get notified the next time we upload a new video for you. Okay, on with the show. The good news? Lots of cartridges can meet this standard. The good news for the armed good guy or good gal about town is that there are many handgun cartridges that will meet that 12 to 18 inch penetration standard, including a lot of cartridges you wouldn't expect. Ubiquitous and time-tested favorites like the 380 ACP, 9mm, 38 Special, 357 Magnum, 40 S&W, 45 ACP, and more will all reliably succeed with the right load in the right gun. But you might be surprised to learn that so-called mouse gun cartridges like the 32 ACP, 22 Magnum, and 22 LR can all do it too, though there are a few more caveats compared to their larger brethren. Lots of folks get caught up in the caliber debate, and I mean that in the exact meaning of the word. The actual diameter of the bullet, not the total package of the cartridge itself. A bigger bullet means a nominally larger wound channel and particularly a larger permanent cavity. A larger permanent cavity means a greater volume of tissue is destroyed and hopefully more blood loss and shock. This is true in a strictly academic sense, but you should know that there is very little difference in overall terminal performance between the standard centerfire cartridges. You've got to get a good hit to get good effects on target. A scratch hit does not suddenly become a good hit because it happens with a 357 Magnum or a 45. Likewise, getting zapped right through the heart with a 22 or 32 doesn't give the poor person so inflicted a second lease on life. Assuming the bullet can do the job, getting a good hit means more than anything. Keep in mind, barrel length affects performance. There is an easy pitfall that novice defenders often fall victim to. The length of your handgun's barrel makes a big difference in overall performance. A particular load might work wonders at a sufficient velocity threshold, but turn into a total dog below that threshold. Barrel length directly impacts velocity. A superstar load might only be such out of a 3.5 or 4-inch barrel. This can complicate your life and lead to bad outcomes if you use different carry guns for different purposes and don't use ammunition that is optimized for each. There's tons of vetted, published data on the internet concerning such things, and you are wise to search it out and consult it if you're unable to conduct such tests yourself. Great loads for common calibers. So what are some high-performance, truly deadly loads that can do everything we want them to do for self-defense purposes? You certainly don't want for choices if you carry a 9mm. Corbon's 115-grain DPX load is an excellent performer that demonstrates picture-perfect expansion and extraordinary weight retention with a just right depth of penetration. Magtech's 115-grain Guardian Gold Plus P is another stupendous and consistent performer in the same vein. You won't go wrong with any Spear Gold load either. If a wheel gun is more your thing, you'll find lots to love if you carry a 38 Special. Federal's 130-grain HST Micro is a stellar load that expands wide and reliably penetrates deeply, right at 14 inches on average out of short and longer barrels alike. Hornady's 110-grain FTX Critical Defense is another stalwart performer out of various barrel lengths, though it does not expand quite as reliably or quite as wide as the aforementioned Federal load. Don't be seduced by jabroni bullets. What you absolutely cannot afford as a civilian defender is to be led astray by flashy marketing, pseudoscience, and dubious claims. These are the tools wielded by novelty ammo manufacturers to seduce the unwary. Fragmenting ammunition like the gold Glazer safety slugs and, more recently, the verified clown show of a bullet that is the RIP, peddled by G2 Research, works contrary to our purposes. The developers of these rounds would have you believe that they are, allegedly, a better choice for defenders because they break up inside the target or a backstop like a wall and reduce or eliminate over-penetration hazards. At the same time, somehow, they are way deadlier than typical hollow points or FMJ rounds because of energy transfer, hydrostatic shock, or other factors that, as I said, simply do not exist or matter in the realm of gun wounding factors. What these rounds will do, though, is rapidly shed weight as soon as they enter the body. A reduction in weight equals a reduction in momentum, and a reduction in momentum means a reduction in penetration. That's why respectable bullet manufacturers invest millions and millions of dollars in R&D to design better bullets that are less likely to break up or come apart when they enter the target and expand. Retaining weight means more reliable and more consistent penetration. If that's not enough to convince you, consider that these gun show jabronis rounds cost 2 to 3 times more per cartridge than even the best traditional hollow points, and those already cost 2 to 3 times as much as the FMJ load of similar quality. A magazine full of these snake oil bullets might set you back a car payment while they rob you of effectiveness. The choice is yours, shooter. Okay, I think we can put a pin in it there. That is what you likely haven't been told concerning your concealed carry ammo. Armed with this information, ignorance is no excuse. Seek out, Purchase and test a good load for your handgun according to these metrics, and you'll be as set up for success as you can be. Let me know what you've got your carry gun stoked with down in the comments. Are you carrying a modern hollow point like the Federal HST, or are you sticking with a classic like the Winchester Silvertip? Also, remember to hit like and subscribe before you go so you don't miss out on even a single new video here on Guns You Can't Live Without. Thanks so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Stay safe and take care.